Hello everyone and welcome to Math 2413, Summer 2, Calculus 1. My name's Terry Barnes and I'll be helping you on this pretty quick journey through Cal 1. I wanted to take this video opportunity to show you how my course is set up, how I think you should approach it, and what the expectations are. So let's get started. Right here are announcements and you want to check those regularly. I will put an announcement out every weekend for the coming week, and I might put an announcement out if something else comes up, but definitely on the weekend to get you ready for the next week. So be sure you check your announcements. Over here is your content area, and there's a content button here, but I've put pretty much everything here that I think you need. So this is where I would work from. So let's go here and just kind of go through these items. First thing is the instructor plan, and you should read through that. I'm not going to read through it in this video, but I will show you a few things. You do need a calculator for the course. I'm showing a TI 84 CE, and that's what I use, and either this or just a regular TI 84 is what you'll see in my videos. If you have another calculator that works, you are welcome to use that. Then let's move down here to course participation and attendance. And you do need to be in attendance, and with our online course, that's going to mean working on something every week. And so you need to understand between Sunday and Saturday, you should have work showing in the course. Whether it's one assignment, whether it's a test, whatever it is, there has to be valid work done within the week in order to be attendant for that week. So we'll talk about the calendar in another place. Let's look at grading. You have homework, and there's a homework assignment for each section that we cover. So that's really good. You need to work on that, and that's going to count 30% of your final average. There are 5 tests plus a comprehensive final. The tests are 50% of your final average. The final goes in the final exam category, and it is 20% of your average. Now this red is really important here. Before each test is available online or face-to-face, all homework assignments must be completed with at least a 70 on that unit. A score of 0 will be assigned to that test if the student has not met that prereq by the indicated due date. So what that means is you've got to pass the homework before you can open the test. So keep that in mind. If you're struggling but you've got a 70 on it and you need to take the test, you can do that. Otherwise, it will not open for you. So that is that. And then I've talked about this. In this online course, attendance is based on participation. If you don't complete work in a week, that counts as an absence. You're allowed 2 such weeks. But if you receive a third absence, you could be dropped for attendance issues. Okay, so that's for this short class. And that is pretty much the highlights of that. Be sure and go back and read through the whole thing for yourself, but those are the highlights that I wanted to cover. All right, there are some handouts here. Let's look there. There's some calculator help. If you need anything, there's some phone apps right here that if you don't have a calculator and you don't want to buy one right now, there are some apps that you can use. So there's that. This is a packet of information that I hand out to my college algebra students. It's really good, and if you're struggling a little bit on remembering your algebra, that might be helpful. I always tell my calculus students it's not the calculus that does them in, it's often the algebra, so be aware on that. If you use a TI Inspire and you need extra help, there is a document here on that. This is a trig handout, so a lot of trig identities, and we do have a lot of trig in calculus, so that might be helpful. There's a list of common derivatives, derivatives and integrals, trig derivatives, some geometry formulas, lots of handouts in here. Now, this one is particularly important. The curve sketching form. Keep that in mind. When you get to chapter 4, part of the test will be doing a curve sketch. And I'm expecting that you go here, click on that form. It looks like this. You want to print it. If you don't have access to a printer, draw it out on paper, because all of this needs to be filled out for the points on the test, and it's worth 30 points. So this one's really important. Remember, it is under handouts. Let's go back. All right, the next thing in line is the calendar, and this is a summer calendar, and it shows you that there are no real due dates. So I've broken it apart. If you want to follow it this way, you can. This is a suggested calendar. But literally, this is self-paced. If you finish everything in 3 weeks, then you're done. But if you get in trouble week 2, you're really, really busy and you can't do but one assignment, you're okay. This is a suggested calendar for those people that really need something to go by. So week 1, chapter 2, try to take the test on chapter 2. Week 2, we're covering the first half of chapter 3, 3.1 through 3.5, and there is a test on that. Week 3 is the second half of chapter 3. It's a very long chapter, so I've got it into 2 tests. Week 4, 1 through 8, and we're not going to cover 4.8, so it's like 6 sections there and an exam there. Week 5, chapter 5, and then week 6 is when you'll be doing your final exam. So it's totally doable, but you just have to set your own pace and try to stay with it. All right, let's go to the next 3 items: problem sets, lecture notes, video lecture playlist. This is the meat of the course, and it's where you're going to do the learning. There is an e-text if you want it, but I have pulled out the things that I want you to cover. So I would suggest printing the problem sets, maybe print the lecture notes, watching the video before you try to do the homework. But it depends on your background and how much you already know. But let's look at these problem sets. Let's go to chapter 2. 2.1. All right, so finding average rate of change, find the equation for the tangent line, find the slope, da-da-da-da-da. So there are some problems. You may or may not know how to do these problems when you're just looking at it. But that's when the lecture notes come in. So this, I would maybe print this, and then we'll go back and get the lecture notes. So we'll come down here and hear the lecture notes. And again, you've got chapter 2 right there, and it's lecture, and there's an alternative number 2. I'm not sure that's been added. So these are the notes that if you were in class, we would be going over. And so you can read through these, and as you scroll down, you'll come to the problems. So here's those same problems from the problem set, and this is being worked out, and you can see what's happening. Now, number 2, we get into something that is not algebraic, so to speak, and we're getting into the actual calculus part of it and taking a limit. So that's the lecture notes, and you could get it just reading through the lecture notes, but if not, let's go look at the video. So we're back here, and the next thing is the video lecture playlist. This is from my YouTube channel. Here's a chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5 playlist. If you click that, you're going to get my playlist. And so if we went here.
From idea to submission, empower students to do their best work with Grammarly's generative AI. What if they could...
This is section 2.1, and we're going to start out talking about the average rate of change, which should be familiar. So if we look at this picture, so you can see that I'm going to talk about what's going on and take you through it. So if you need the video, there is one for every section. So to recap, you've got problem sets, which are practice problems. You've got lecture notes where the concepts are gone over and the problems are worked out. And you've got a video doing the actual video of me explaining it. Now, if you've gone through that and you're ready, then you're ready to go to your homework. And if you click on that homework tab at the top, you'll notice that all the homework is due August 14th at 6 p.m. That's when the course will close, right? That's not negotiable. I have to turn in grades the next morning. So that's there. And this is a clickable link. So if we click on that, now you'll note there may be more questions in the practice than there are here, or vice versa. And they might not all match perfectly. They usually mirror. I usually have done that. But, you know, at this level, you might get something a little harder than what was in the practice. But let's look at question 1 in the homework. Okay, same thing that we saw in the problem set. Find the average rate of change over the given interval. So it's a 2-part question. You won't get the second part till you try it. So there's 5 questions, and let me push up a little bit. Okay, so when you're doing your homework, if you click in this box, down here some icons show up. So if you need a fraction, if you need a square root or another root, if you need an ordered pair, there's just some icons to really help you. And then there's more. And so you've got summation, you've got an infinity in here somewhere, not seeing it, there it is right there. So you've got a lot of other symbols that you may or may not need, but they don't show up until you click in the box. And then say we just put in, I'm going to put something crazy, hit check answer, and it just reminds you of the formula. It says that's not right, but there's the formula. And maybe I make a change, maybe I don't. I check again. I'm still going to get a reminder. Final check. Okay, it says the correct answer was 296. This is what I put. Okay, and then it goes to the next part. And you would do the same thing there. If you need more help, you can click on Get More Help. Say you've struggled with this. Hit Ask My Instructor. And I really urge everyone to use this if you have a question about a specific problem. This is the best way for me to help you. So you do that, and it sends me your question. So when I get it, I'll be able to actually see what you're looking at. And you can type in here, I've struggled with this for an hour. I'm trying this. That's not working. Where am I going? Whatever you need to do. And then you send it to me, and it comes straight to me from you. And it's an Ask My Instructor question, and it really helps me get back to you in the best method. So please, if it's a general question about a concept, that's fine. But if it's about a homework question, please use that if you need help on it. You can view an example, but I've already given you a bunch of examples, so I don't know that you need to do that. I'm going to hit save, and I've not completed it. Yes, I know. I want to leave that. So I've missed that question, and we'll see what that looks like when I look at the grade book later. But you can come back in and out of here. It does remind you you have to score 70 on this before you can take the online test. So we're going to go out of this and get back. Okay, so here again is all your homework. And if you wanted, and that's what's chosen there, and then you could do show all. But sometimes it's easier to just go here and go to quizzes and tests. So now the tests are showing. And if you'll note over here, you have 120 minutes on this one. You have 150 on everything else. That's plenty of time. You have zero of 2 tries on that. So you can try these both times. If you do well the first time, you don't have to take it a second time. But if you don't, you've got a second try. The final exam, you only have 1 try on. So you want to study, you want to do as well as you can on that. This reminder flag says you've got to score a 70 on all the Chapter 2 homeworks before this will open. If I click on it right now, it's going to say that. It's going to remind you there again. I could click continue to go to the test, but I'm just going to close there. All right, so that would get you through the homework and tests. All right, the only other thing that I wanted to show you was here is your grade book. And so you can see I opened it as a student and did 0 of 5 correct. This is when I worked it. This is how long I spend. So I can tell how much time you're spending on your homework. Also over here, there are 27 homeworks, 1 quiz, which is the final exam. And this is off. There should be 5 there. Should be a 2 tests for 3, 4. There should be 5 tests. So I've got to fix that. That should be a 5. But you can always tell where you stand, and your calculation should be here. So I think we're good on that. So I think that should get you started in the course. I look forward to working with you, and let me know if you need any help. I will be right here.